Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with the words of the lightning takes. And let's get right to the news.
I have two articles I'd like to go over today. The first one is more information from Ewan McGregor when he was at the Boston Fan Expo. We heard the whole spiel about...
Yeah, we've covered that.
Yeah, that he is not in Ahsoka Season 2.
Not in Ahsoka
allegedly.
Season 2. I mean, he might be, but he's not confirming he is. We can say that much.
He didn't say he was.
Yes.
Somebody else did. He talked about some old memories from The Phantom Menace that I found pretty humorous. First thing he talked about is that he had to slow down his fight with Ray Park, Darth Maul, at the end of the film. I've
always heard that it was slowed down, after the fact.
Yes, that it was, because they were too good performing the choreography. He actually goes over what happened with he and Ray Park, who were too fast, which was not good for the cameras, apparently.
Apparently. I don't know, I think it would look pretty cool if it was even faster.
He said, when me and Ray did that fight, George, I've got to get this right, over-cranked. We used to shoot on film, and you can adjust the speed the film's going through the camera. If you want it to be slow motion, you make the camera run really fast, so when you play it back, it's slow motion. I remember hearing him say, they're going too fast, slightly over-crank the camera. So they over-cranked the camera to make it slightly slower because me and Ray were so fast doing this fight, he was worried people wouldn't believe it.
I want to see that.
It was slow.
I guess I could just adjust the speed on it, but that's not the same. I want to see it in person.
Sounds interesting to me, for sure.
I'd always heard that, but it seemed like one of those things no, come on. They're already going crazy fast.
Well, there was other instances at other shows that the actors, didn't they say Bruce Lee or something, or Jackie Chan or Jet Li, when they were filming them, they were too fast for the cameras?
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, you could pick any of those three. This probably could be true.
He also shared a story about he and Hayden Christensen in Revenge of the Sith. With me and Hayden in the prequels, or with me and Park in this case, we were fighting with lightsaber handles and no guard. They were made of metal. There was a guy, I wish I could remember his name, and there was this guy who had this mobile cart and went from stage to stage. His only job was to replace the blades on the lightsabers after we fought a take. By the time me and Hayden fought a take, both our lightsaber blades were totally bent. They were made of metal, tubing, some kind of alloy, I guess, but we went at it so hard, George would say, cut, and you'd look down and your lightsaber would be a big dent shape. So this guy would replace the blade on every take. You can imagine how hard we were going at it.
I want that job. I'd be fine with that. I worked on Star Wars. What did you do? I was a lightsaber changer.
Yes, my whole job was to change the blades on lightsabers when the actors bent them.
But I can imagine if you've seen the behind-the-scenes footage of those two they're actually swinging away at each other. Well, not really, it's all choreographed, but it does feel like they're swinging away at each other. I do it just to say I'd worked on Star Wars. I worked on Revenge of the Sith. I don't have to elaborate anymore.
I'm a lightsaber technician.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Exactly, I'm a lightsaber technician.
Lightsaber technician. All right, next I want to talk about Ron Howard. We know that he came on to, quote-unquote, fix the Solo problem, right? He talked a little bit about why he was brought on. This is brought to us by Variety. He was invited to lunch by Kathleen Kennedy and found that John Kasdan was also sitting at the table. And from there he was informed that Lucasfilm decided to part ways with Lord and Miller over creative differences, and he was brought on, they wanted him to steady the ship.
So they were going too far. They were just kind of getting crazy with it? Is that what we should assume?
Well, he got to look at the footage, and he spotted the problem. It's kind of consistent with what has been previously reported. Lord and Miller kind of went off the books a little too much. It didn't fit Lucasfilm's vision of what the film should be. Ron says, they basically said, we've reached a creative impasse with Lord and Miller. Would you consider coming in? I looked at some of the edited footage, and I saw what was bothering them. There was a studio that liked the script the way it was and wanted a Star Wars movie, but there was a disconnect early on tonally, and they weren't convinced that what Phil and Chris were doing was working effectively. I couldn't judge that because I didn't see enough of it to know, but they were sure. Once I said, okay, I think I can do this script, and I think I understand what you want of this script, they said, we want to reshoot a lot. I looked at the whole movie, then pointed out some things that I thought were great. And Phil and Chris were incredibly gracious throughout the process. they were just seeing 2 different movies. So I came in, I had a blast, but there's nothing personal about that film whatsoever. It's just a shame. I can't wait for Phil and Chris's next movie. So apparently the biggest problem was tone. It didn't fit the Star Wars mold that Lucasfilm was looking for in a Solo movie.
So does that mean they went too much or too little?
I think it went too much.
I mean, that's the guess. But...
I'm betting it went too much, which is funny because Andor, you could say, goes too much from being Star Wars.
In the opposite direction than I think this was probably going. I think this was being a little too fun, maybe? Like maybe, too fun?
Maybe.
Like just kind of too
I can imagine
humorous
that.
And not really, I don't know. That's just a guess, just knowing what Lord and Miller have done.
And yet we left Your Name is Solo because you're alone?
Well, you can't fix it all. I don't know. I mean, I can just imagine that they weren't treating it maybe with the seriousness. Even though Star Wars should. Yeah, well, I don't know if that Disney and Lucasfilm have reverence for it anymore. But seriously, probably something along those lines. They just weren't. They were trying to be a little too cheeky with the character of Han Solo, maybe. And they wanted it toned down a little bit, is my guess.
Well, Ron Howard also revealed he spoke with George Lucas before he started to work on Solo. You know, he's looking for some advice.
Sure. He might have some about Star Wars.
George simply said, "Don't forget, it's for 12-year-old boys."
It's the same advice he gives everybody.
Well, it's not for 12-year-old boys.
Do you say boys or kids this time?
Boys.
Oh, he said boys again.
He said boys this time.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's saying it can't be for girls. I think, and we could have we actually had a discussion about this the other day about intended
plenty
targets.
of discussions
we should
about intended targets.
Maybe if people want us to, we can do a weekend ramble type video about it because we were, and not in a bad way. I think we kind of agreed with each other that sometimes when you target a new audience, you change it so much that you lose the original audience, and then you have this problem of like, why don't the original audience like it?
Well, and you might not have succeeded in luring in a new audience either, so now you're left with less than you started.
Yeah, this came about because the Magic the Gathering, it's a card game I'm sure most of you have heard of and probably even played. We have both played it.
Yes.
And they want to create some sets in the future, shall we say, that appeal more towards a female audience. And,
including romantic series?
Yeah.
I was like, wait till we have Magic the Gathering, Twilight.
Yeah, because you've probably heard of those two, the Lord of the Rings sets, the Final Fantasy, where they're
Marvel.
not just, they've done pretty much everything. Spider-Man, that's part of Marvel, obviously, but I don't know. I found that rather interesting as, again, we're both players. We've both played it. We're not currently players, but you have a lot of experience with going to like tournaments and stuff and being perhaps the only woman in the room.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting conversation. I don't know. Maybe people would be interested in us having it again on here. Because
there's a long conversation.
There's a lot of things
Because my perspective is, of course, a little different than, Thor, your perspective, or even the audience's perspective, depending on how everyone's perspective is different. But
we started to play a different card game called Flesh and Blood recently. Really great game. We've kind of chilled on it a little recently. Just summertime, we do outside stuff instead of inside stuff.
Busy people.
Yeah, we like to be. We're intentionally busy people in the summer. We like to get out there and do stuff. But anyway, like we have gone to tournaments and stuff, and again, you will be the only woman in the room oftentimes, and I will see the way other men treat you, and I make that sound bad.
No, it's
very
bipolar,
condescending because you'll get we're just going full blown.
We're going for it.
We won't go full blown here.
Okay.
From what I see, you have the person who overly
nice, the one who thinks that I don't really know what I'm doing, that I just came with my husband, and
that's nice. You play with him, and you must have no idea what you're doing.
Who over explains. And it's really, really great when they get really, really mad when I beat them.
Well, yeah, because you also have the ones that I think are like take it so serious because oh my god, I can't ever lose to a woman. This would be the worst thing that has ever happened.
Who I feel like they're very aggressive.
Yeah.
And
then I come over 6'4" Thor, and they tend to chill out. But
but you've seen it.
I have seen it. Yes,
you've seen it, and it's really bothersome.
It's bad.
It makes me really not want to play. Like I'll be doing really, really well. Like I recently
did really, you finished in the top four in a pretty big tournament.
Some of the I've won a really big tournament.
Well, not really big, like 25, 30
people.
There's like 25 people, but
tournament.
It's a fish story. It gets more people as you tell it.
It was early on when I started playing.
Yeah. Anyway, we're rambling, but
no, they get very angry when I win.
Yes.
Very angry, like it's like somehow hurting them. I don't know why.
We could have a very interesting conversation about why I think that is, but for now, That's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it's your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about any of all of today's news or what we're rambling out here at the end. Maybe you're a woman who has played a card game and experienced something similar. Whatever the case may be, though, leave a comment below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.